Today, we're going to talk about that Dasher and whether the gig driving community as a whole would benefit from training. What's going on, everybody? My name is Zach. I hope you are doing well. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, please do hit that like and subscribe button. If you are kind enough to subscribe, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me your name and the market you drive in, and I'll be sure to thank you at the end of my next video. I want to start by saying that I am not trying to cast stones in anyone's general direction. This is about a very small handful of drivers that give all of us a bad name. This is the tale of two drivers that both make us look bad in very different ways. This is the story of Jimmy and Johnny. We've all seen that one Dasher out there and thought, this is why restaurants don't like us. That's Jimmy. Jimmy thinks his time is more valuable than everyone else's. He rarely completes the job on time or with a smile. He takes shortcuts whenever possible and blames his 4.73 rating on his customers. It's never his fault. Jimmy has a temper and doesn't know when to shut up. As a result, he's been banned from 2 restaurants and a 3rd is on the way. He knows how the apps work. He just doesn't care. So basically, Jimmy's a tool. Now let's introduce you to Johnny. Johnny is a college student who spends most of his time in the classroom or doing homework. The little bit of free time he has, he's out trying to earn a few bucks. He's polite and courteous to everybody, even when they seem annoyed with him. He only has a handful of deliveries under his belt, but he's well liked by his customers. However, like most new drivers, Johnny didn't seek out any additional information before he pressed Dash Now for the first time, and today is just not going his way. Now, Johnny is under the impression that he works for DoorDash and therefore has a 100% acceptance rate. He appreciates the opportunity to earn extra money, but he's quickly realizing that he's earning less than minimum wage. So when he sees an order that comes through for $3, he thinks he's required to take it. Well, in the middle of his delivery, the app crashed. Now, the GPS got him to the correct apartment building, but he didn't know which unit to drop it off at. Not to mention, he couldn't contact support because the app wouldn't load. Frustrated, Johnny finally takes the food to the apartment complex office and explains the situation to the office staff. He leaves the order with the office staff. As a result, the customer's order was an hour late and cold. After Johnny got home for the evening, he realized for an hour and a half of his time, he earned $3, a bad rating, and a contract violation. Now, Johnny didn't give us a bad name because he was rude or careless. He gave us a bad name because of his lack of training. Now that we've met Jimmy and Johnny, there's a pretty clear distinction between the two, don't you think? Jimmy should have never been activated in the first place. Johnny, with a little bit of training, will be an asset to the company and our reputation. Now, this is not a hard job. Pick up from here, drop off over there. But somehow, people still manage to f that up. Have you ever had a job where there was no initial training? Probably not. Me neither. Even greeters at Walmart have to learn how to clock in and out for their shifts. So why should gig work be any different? But before we address training, first, let's weed out the bad apples. I'm talking about the ones who just don't care and that don't have common sense. I'm talking about the Jimmies. I propose that all prospective drivers are required to take a pre-activation assessment. We can call it the Inept Dumbass Indication Observation Test, or IDIOT for short. For example, this test may include the following: a little mini game asking the customer which direction the door swings and where they should put the food. That'll tell DoorDash how many of Karen's meals they're gonna have to refund. What is proper work attire? Should your dog ride in the front seat or the back seat when you're out driving? If they answer anything other than none of the above, send them the link to Instacart. When is the appropriate time to swear at customers? How much of your customer's food can you safely borrow? Should you look for cameras before you take a shit in the apartment lobby? If this is resonating with you, this is the perfect time to hit that like and subscribe button. These are all examples of people that could be and should be weeded out by a simple idiot test before they're even activated. This is the kind of stuff that ends us up on the news, people. We don't want to end up on the news. You don't want a cop to have to finish your delivery because you thought it was a bright idea to drag race him at a red light with an ounce of in the car and 14 cheeseburgers. F***ing morons. Now that we've gotten rid of the bad apples, let's talk about training for the remainder of us. I can't begin to tell you the number of times that I've seen a new driver looking down at their phone with a panicked look on their face, looking dazed and confused because they couldn't figure out how to use the app. They just didn't know how to deal with a small problem that arose. This is where some very basic training would help, where we could turn Johnny from 0 to hero. Now, like anything else, there are pros and cons to this idea. Now, I'm not suggesting that all new hires file into a classroom with name tags on and do icebreakers before learning the inner workings of DoorDash. Let's be real, that would require DoorDash to spend money on us and they are not about that. I'm talking about a short procedural video where drivers can learn what to do in certain scenarios, such as, what if the app crashes when you're in the middle of a delivery? What if there's a double and you can't find the second address? What to do if the customer gave you the wrong address and you can't get in touch with them? What to do in the event of an accident or some other major delay? These are the cases where a 30-minute training video and a test would be beneficial. A common sense test would weed out the people that just shouldn't be driving, but a 30-minute video could potentially teach new drivers how to correctly deal with a situation when one should arise. Now for the cons. Of course, there's gonna be things that DoorDash just will not tell new drivers. For example, in a lot of ways, what DoorDash would teach would be no more factual than a North Korean propaganda poster saying that Kim Jong-il doesn't poop. Here's a short list of things that DoorDash would never tell new Dashers. You are not required to take a single offer. Top Dasher doesn't do anything for you. It's a program designed to trick gullible people into making poor financial decisions. You should never deliver in dangerous areas. You can say, fuck it, I'm tired of waiting, and walk out. You can, and should, sign up for as many delivery apps as you possibly can. So nothing is perfect. The problem with them offering training isn't what they would say, it's what they wouldn't say. Although training can be very beneficial for new drivers, let's be real about it. Nothing DoorDash can say or a YouTube video can say will teach that new driver their market. So I think some of the burden falls on us as experienced drivers. If you see a driver in a restaurant struggling, help them out. I want to know your thoughts. Make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Should DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats require training for new drivers? Well guys, that's going to wrap up the video. If you haven't done so yet, please do hit that like and subscribe button. If you are kind enough to subscribe, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me your name and the market you drive in, and I'll be sure to thank you at the end of my next video. Speaking of wonderful people subscribing, a massive thank you to Casey from Price, Utah. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.